When elephants fight, it is the grass that suffers. What if I told you that the grass is us? Let's begin. Every day, somewhere in the world, conflict rises, nations clash, people suffer, and humanity bleeds. But have we ever stopped to ask, why? Why, in an age of technology, intelligence, and global connection, do we still choose destruction over dialogue? This is not just a political issue, it is a human one. Today we explore a powerful question. Is a world without war truly possible? And more importantly, are we ready to create it? 1. The root of conflict, power, and greed. Most wars are not about survival. They are about control. Control of land, oil, water, and influence. When power becomes more valuable than human life, war begins. 2. Fear and mistrust between nations. Countries often fight because they fear each other. Mistrust builds walls where bridges should exist. Dialogue is replaced by weapons. 3. The human cost of war is not just numbers and headlines. It is broken families, lost futures, and silent tears. Innocent people pay the highest price for decisions they never made. 4. The importance of respect between countries. Peace begins with respect. Every nation, big or small, deserves dignity. Respecting borders, cultures, and sovereignty is the foundation of harmony. 5. Lessons from peaceful regions. Many South American countries show us that peaceful coexistence is possible. Despite differences, they prioritize cooperation over conflict, proving that unity is stronger than division. 6. Choosing humanity over control. We must stop fighting to control resources that belong to the earth, not to us. Humanity must come before power. Cooperation can achieve what war never will. Let's think. It is a decision. A decision to listen instead of attack, to respect instead of dominate, and to value life above all else. Peace is not the absence of war, it is the presence of wisdom. Let us choose wisdom. Let us choose peace. Now I am going to discuss further that today we explore a powerful question. Is a world without war truly possible? And more importantly, are we ready to create it? 1. The root of conflict, power, and greed. At the heart of most global conflicts lies a simple yet dangerous truth: the desire for power and control. Nations rarely go to war purely for survival. Instead, they are driven by the need to dominate resources, expand influence, or assert superiority. Oil, minerals, land, and strategic locations become reasons to justify violence. Leaders often disguise these motives with political language, but the reality remains unchanged. Human lives are sacrificed for material gain. This greed blinds decision makers to the suffering of ordinary people. Families are torn apart, cities are destroyed, and generations grow up in fear. The tragedy is that these resources, which cause so much conflict, belong to the earth and should benefit all humanity, not just a few powerful groups. If nations shifted their mindset from ownership to shared responsibility, many conflicts could be avoided. Cooperation could replace competition, and progress could be achieved without destruction. True strength lies not in controlling others, but in uplifting them. 2. Fear and mistrust between nations. Fear is one of the most powerful forces driving conflict in the world. When nations do not trust each other, they begin to see every action as a potential threat. This fear leads to suspicion, and suspicion often leads to hostility. Countries build armies, stockpile weapons, and prepare for war, not always because they want to fight, but because they are afraid of being attacked first. This cycle creates a dangerous environment where even small misunderstandings can escalate into major conflicts. Instead of communicating openly, nations hide their intentions, which only increases mistrust. Over time, this lack of transparency builds invisible walls between countries, making cooperation nearly impossible. However, fear can be replaced with understanding. Dialogue, diplomacy, and cultural exchange can help nations see each other not as enemies, but as partners. Trust is not built overnight, but it begins with a willingness to listen and respect differences. Breaking this cycle of fear is essential if we want a peaceful world, because when trust grows, the need for war disappears. 3. The human cost of war is often discussed in terms of strategies, victories, and losses, but behind these terms are real human lives. The true cost of war is not measured in territory or power. It is measured in pain, loss, and suffering. Innocent civilians, including women and children, are the ones who suffer the most. They lose their homes, their loved ones, and their sense of security. Children grow up in environments filled with fear and violence, which affects their mental and emotional well-being. Entire communities are displaced, forced to leave everything behind in search of safety. The scars of war do not disappear when the fighting stops. They remain for generations. Moreover, war destroys infrastructure, education systems, and economies, making it difficult for countries to rebuild. The long-term effects can trap nations in cycles of poverty and instability. When we truly understand the human cost of war, it becomes clear that no victory is worth such suffering. Peace is not just an ideal, it is a necessity for human survival and dignity. 4. The importance of respect between countries. Respect is the foundation of any peaceful relationship, whether between individuals or nations. When countries respect each other's sovereignty, culture, and values, they create an environment where cooperation can thrive. Without respect, disagreements quickly turn into conflicts. Every nation, regardless of its size or power, deserves to be treated with dignity. Smaller countries should not be pressured or controlled by stronger ones. Instead, global relationships should be based on equality and mutual understanding. Respect also means acknowledging differences without trying to impose one's own beliefs on others. International organizations and diplomatic efforts play a key role in promoting respect. But true change begins with the mindset of leaders and citizens. When people value peace and fairness, they influence their governments to act accordingly. Respect does not mean agreement on everything. It means choosing dialogue over domination. It means solving problems through discussion rather than destruction. In a world built on respect, conflicts can be resolved without violence, and peace can become a lasting reality. 5. Lessons from peaceful regions. There are regions in the world that show us peace is not just a dream, it is achievable. Many South American countries, despite their differences in language, culture, and politics, have managed to avoid large-scale wars in recent decades. They focus on diplomacy, regional cooperation, and economic partnerships instead of conflict. These countries understand that working together brings more benefits than fighting each other. Trade agreements, cultural exchanges, and political dialogue have helped build strong relationships. This example teaches us an important lesson. Peace is a choice. It requires effort, patience, and commitment, but it is possible. If more regions adopted similar approaches, the world could become far more stable and harmonious. Peaceful coexistence is not about the absence of problems. It is about how those problems are solved. And when nations choose cooperation over conflict, everyone benefits. 6. Choosing humanity over control. At the end of the day, the future of our world depends on one simple choice. Do we value power more than people? It is time to shift our priorities. Humanity must come first. Every life has value, regardless of nationality, religion, or background. When we begin to see each other as part of one global family, the idea of war becomes unacceptable. Resources should be shared responsibly, not fought over. Technology and innovation should be used to improve lives, not to create more advanced weapons. Leaders must think beyond borders and consider the well-being of the entire planet. The power to change the world does not lie only in governments, it lies in people. When individuals demand peace, leaders are forced to listen. A better world is possible, but only if we choose it. Final ending. Do not light a fire in another's home, for the smoke will darken your own sky. Plant peace in every heart you meet and watch the world heal little by little. If this message touched your heart, make sure to please like, subscribe, and share so this message reaches someone who needs it today.